Second up is Bygoe Zubiate, an artist. An artist who brought her posse tonight. Born and raised here, whose art explores a variety of media, also takes inspiration from the surroundings that she sees, the personal issues as well she has come to face, strives to use art as a medium in which she can express herself free from the boundaries of language and create something people can relate to across diverse communities. We just saw that as well. And though she has participated in more formal arts education at the after-school art program, SAY-C, she has been making art for as long as she can remember, exploring and crafting her artistic voice. She recently graduated from the International School of the Americas, planning to further education at Trinity University next fall, majoring in environmental studies and studio art. Please give it up for Bygoe Zubiate!
Hey everyone, I'm Bygoe. Thank you all so much for coming. So before I start, I'd like to mention this is kind of a shout out to my dad, Peter Zubiate. I know a lot of you knew him, and he did one of these back in 2012, and it was really good, so you guys should look it up on YouTube. But yeah, I didn't know that I'd get to speak before, so. Okay. So yeah, I'm Bygoe, and I'm 18, and I've been, so a lot of my work that I'm going to be focusing on today surrounds this common theme of illness and kind of healthcare, and kind of, I didn't really realize it until I kind of stepped back and took a look at my body of work as a whole, but it's kind of snuck up on me. So this first piece that I'm going to talk about is called The Amygdala, and it's a self-portrait, obviously, and so it is digital photography and embroidery, and it highlights the part of the brain, the amygdala, which is most associated with mental illness. And so I made this in my junior year of high school, I guess, and it sort of talks about kind of how mental illness is a physical part of you, and it's not just made up or you being kind of dramatic or whatever. And so this is a partner piece that went with that, and it's a mask, and I made it out of metal and using all cold connections. And so it's sort of meant to talk about kind of how we keep a lot of what we're thinking hidden in terms of not only our mental illness, but just watching what we say and kind of insincerity. And so the color is yellow because it's happiness. And then so yeah, this is my next body of work. This was a show. This was my first solo show, and it was at AP Art Lab at 1906 Gallery last year, I think, and in June. And so it focuses on, it's called Embrace, and it focuses on crooked teeth. And so these were all they were I guess, this one was 3 feet by 3 feet, and so they're pretty big. And so they're all of my friends. All of them are pictures of my friends. This is Daniel. Yeah. And so when I was little, I was super self-conscious about my teeth. And I still kind of am, but getting over it. And so my teeth aren't that bad, but they're crooked. I mean, they're crowded, and I never really, I never got braces, and I would see everybody. I never really thought about it until I got to middle school, and I went to an actual school. And so, and this is my friend River, and so that's kind of why I did it. And then I started to realize, I didn't like to smile because I thought it was ugly when I smiled, which is weird because it's you smile because you're happy, and so it's me thinking because I was happy I was ugly. So I realized that a lot of people felt this way, a lot of people who had never had their teeth fixed, whether it's personal choice, whether it's they didn't have enough money or insurance, or anything like that. And so I decided to do this to kind of empower them. This is Gabe. To kind of empower my friends who kind of felt the same way. And this is Martin. And all of these. And so in the process, I really empowered myself. And now I've kind of learned to embrace it. And last year my mom was hey, you want braces now? It's nah, I'm good. So, yeah. Yeah, this is Usadi's. So a big part of this kind of plays into that theme again of illness, and then it also kind of touched on like this beauty standard that's kind of put upon like young children, you know, when like because a lot of the time it's not necessary to get your teeth straightened, and I think it's really weird that everybody like in America does. Like, isn't that kind of weird? Like other first world countries don't do that, like or developed countries, like a lot of Europe doesn't do it, and so I thought it was really weird, and I had never really thought about it before. So I did this. This is blue. I don't remember. Yeah. So sorry, I'm kind of nervous. Okay. So yeah, that's why I did this piece. It was sort of to empower myself and to empower others, and kind of like address this weird beauty standard that I think we don't really think about, and that I thought it was kind of messed up that I felt like you know, these people are paying like thousands of dollars to get their kids' teeth fixed when it's just like a little, and then like it's just like a little crooked teeth, and then all these other kids who don't have enough money for it or choose not to are left kind of feeling inadequate. And I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but I definitely found a lot of people that did. And so this piece is what I'm really proud of. This one, I was talking about my dad earlier, and so this was a piece. So my dad was really sick for a long time, and his hands were like fused in this position due to his illness, one of many illnesses. And so I decided to document it. And I took plaster casts of his hands. And so the process of this is actually pretty interesting. So I used alginate. I used an alginate mold, and you put your hand in, and then once it dries, you pull it out. But he couldn't do that because he would rip the alginate because of the way that his fingers were stuck. And so on like the third try of me like wasting all this like really fancy material, I put dental floss like around his hand using rubber cement, and left like the pieces hanging out. And so then when he was done, I cut through the mold with the floss, and like it made this perfect hand. So I'm really proud of that piece, and it like has a lot to do with like, thank you. It has a lot to do with like my dad and like having to kind of relearn things that you got used to, like having to relearn how to like use your phone or drive or brush your teeth or eat and stuff like that. And so I'm gonna talk really quickly about these. So these are my most recent pieces, and they were done to kind of address, these were kind of done to address like climate change and like, but also like a feeling of safety and like a feeling of like feeling safe in this environment that I was in at the time. But then halfway through, my dad died. And so it became these new kind of pieces that kind of came to reflect, like, they went from like safety to uncertainty. And I did that. So thanks.
Here, hang on just a second. Thank you. That's awesome. First thing, you have to look into the light. Do this. You have a beautiful smile. What's the deal with that? All right. Two things. Somebody had asked me about this when they saw one of the things is your name.
Bygoe.
And your dad. You mentioned him. Mm-hmm. But tell me about the name and about your dad's influence on your work and your life now.
Okay.
I'm talking.
Oh yeah. My name is Bygoe. It's a family name from my mom's side, I guess. My mom is English, and so it's like a super old pre-Christian English name. I don't know what it means. She doesn't either. So that's that. Zubiate is Basque on my dad's side. He's Mexican. And
the artwork, and how long have you wanted to be an artist?
Okay. Well, both my parents are artists, so I kind of didn't want to be an artist. So yeah, both my parents were artists, so it made me be like, oh, like I don't want to be an artist. My parents are artists. I'm gonna be like a rebel, but that didn't work out. I think that I just kind of got a lot of inspiration from my parents, and I feel like we're really close, and so I feel like they've like really helped me kind of like, well, one, become like me, and then also been really supportive in my art, and so it's allowed me to be very confident in it, I think. And so I think that's the biggest influence, especially my dad, my mom, has had on me.
And now from here, just the last quick question you're going to Trinity to study studio art and environmental studies.
Yeah.
Is that like as a backup, or how do you see that fitting together? I mean, there's a few artists here, you know, it's like me, you know, we have day jobs. What do you have in mind? What are you going to be doing in your best dreams, I think?
My best dreams, I guess making art based on research. That, like, I'd like to be like some sort of scientific researcher, and then making art based on that. So I think I'm kind of I wanted to just do environmental studies, but then I realized like art makes me so, like it makes me so happy to do it that I don't know why I should make that second priority, you know, if it's like something that really makes me happy and that I feel like makes a big impact. So I guess art was kind of the second backup.
And where are you going to, where can people see your stuff right now, as well as down the road? There might be some people who work with galleries here, but where can they see your stuff now?
My Instagram is Bygoe Zubiate. So it's hard to spell, but there's only one. And so yeah, that's
right. Give it up for Bygoe Zubiate. Thank you very much.